Let's begin with a simple observation. Iran's defenses did not erode gradually, they collapsed quite quickly. Air defenses degraded, missile sites neutralized, command and control fractured. And this happened within days. Public coverage has only focused on the visible layer: airstrikes, missile exchanges, assassinations, retaliation across the Gulf. But there is a quieter dimension, and it may be the decisive one. You see, external air power alone does not usually produce this kind of tempo. Modern air defense systems are layered. Missile forces are redundant, command nodes are hardened. So, how did so much fall so fast? The answer appears to be internal penetration. We know that, but let's dig deep into it. Reports from Israeli sources, Iranian defectors, and open source analysis suggest years and years of pre-positioned networks inside Iran. Sabotage cells, hidden drone facilities, hidden signal reviews, and pre-mapped targeting grids. In several cases, internal strikes appear to have been preceded or synchronized with external bombardment. If that assessment holds, then the collapse was not simply the result of an overwhelming force. Epic fury exposed a system already compromised. That distinction matters. Because a regime that falls from external assault looks different from a regime that falls from internal erosion. One is defeated, the other is hollowed out. So let's separate the layers. Targets in Iran were neutralized at an extraordinary speed. Internal sabotage significantly degraded Iran's defensive response, and Iran's counterintelligence architecture failed to prevent long-term infiltration. It's the third thing that is the most serious. You see, the Islamic Republic has invested decades in internal security, surveillance, Revolutionary Guard oversight, ideological vetting, to name a few. And yet, if penetration occurred at the depth reported, then the regime's greatest vulnerability was not technological, it was institutional trust. So here's the distillation. You see, when a state fears its own population more than foreign adversaries, it often blinds itself to external penetrations. Internal repression and external resilience do not always coexist. The current operation, Epic Fury, is not just another exchange. It combines four elements rarely seen together. Deep U.S. Israeli operational integration, we know that. Leadership level decapitation, we've seen that. Massive air power without occupation, I think that is unfolding. And explicit rhetorical encouragement of regime change, and we hear that every day on the airwaves. Historically, air power alone has rarely produced regime collapse without one of the two conditions: ground follow-through and internal political fragmentation. This campaign appears to be betting on the second, that is, structural gamble and not a tactical one. For decades, the trajectory was visible. Since 1979, hostility between Iran and the United States has been structural, not episodic. Iran pursued nuclear capability despite agreements, and missile development continued with proxy networks expanded. The United States, across administrations, oscillated between negotiation and pressure. When President Trump ordered the killing of Qasem Soleimani in 2020, he established a precedent. leadership targets were not immune anymore. His subsequent national security strategy emphasized blocking Iranian hegemony while avoiding prolonged wars. So, why should we be surprised? Because in this case, it's the scale that matters. The reported killing of Ali Khamenei marks a threshold rarely crossed in modern statecraft. We haven't seen that in a long time. Targeted killing of a sitting head of state, absent invasion, alters psychological and doctrinal norms. The tempo is also striking. Thousands of targets within days, naval assets degraded, succession uncertainty triggered. Even analysts who favored escalation did not expect this speed. When outcomes exceed war game projections, two interpretations exist. Either the strategy is brilliant or the variables remain unseen. History cautions against early triumphalism. Air campaigns often look decisive in week one. Their true effects unfold over months. So, what's the structural layer in all of this? Well, let's zoom out. This is not just about Iran. This is about how regimes decay. Power is sustained by three things: the cohesion of the elite, their coercive capacity, and their perceived legitimacy. Internal infiltration can fracture the cohesion of the elite. External airpower can damage their coercive capacity. But only internal legitimacy determines whether a regime collapses or not. If internal dissent crystallizes, it becomes a regime failure. If it does not, then decapitation can produce consolidation instead. History contains examples of both. There is also a broader pattern here. In late-stage ideological regimes, security apparatuses often grow extensive but brittle. They monitor society intensely, yet they struggle to regenerate trust. When pressure arrives, resilience depends less on weapons and more on cohesion. You see, weapons can be replaced, but legitimacy cannot be manufactured overnight. So, where do we stand? Well, it's week one, day 5 to be precise. The retaliation continues. The Strait of Hormuz remains tense. Global markets are watching. The campaign remains limited, or it may widen. The key variable is no longer tactical. It is internal Iranian cohesion. So watch for internal Iranian cohesion at this point. If the regime fragments, this will be studied as a case of hybrid warfare reshaping deterrence. If it, on the other hand, consolidates, this may mark the beginning of a long conflict cycle. Either way, epic fury has made one lesson already clear. Modern wars are not won in the skies. They are prepared for in the shadows over years. Clarity matters more than volume. I will continue to watch the structure of this conflict, not just the spectacle. Until next time, stay informed, stay reflective, and stay sharp.